Hello, one and all. Thank you for tuning in to the Hexagon TTRPG. My name is Brent. I'm going to be your DM tonight. And I'm going to be DMing Progenitors Bloodlines. So I hope you all are comfortable. And I'm here with four lovely players. Starting with Simon, please introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Simon. I'm playing Wiln Fair, resident bird person, boy, people. And Wiln has, started a map of the area since waking up. He's decided it would be a good idea to kind of just like get the lay of the land, and he's started kind of just sketching things out.
I will say, you say bird person, but you don't look like a bird, right?
Let me share.
Do you have like feathers or something?
He's got kind of like birdish feature, like hawkish face and everything. Not like a hawk, but like kind of like when you say that someone has like that like very like sharp features and everything like that. So, but his descendants have started to express certain bit more pronounced features.
Yes, definitely avian.
Unlike my character's people, who are much more arachnid in appearance, as I am playing Otto, the spidery boy person thing player, who is ready to crack open a new episode of the Progenitors.
Nice.
Fun fact about Otto. You may have guessed, but maybe not. He's afraid of combat. Like, he's not just bad at it, or maybe by consequence of being bad at combat. He's grown to dislike it and almost fear it, as it's kind of like the one thing that violence can end the stories that he is trying to build. Talking things out or diplomacy, he can get his way through stuff like that, but violent combat is just there's such a possibility for a finite end abruptly coming, and he's grown to fear it.
How barbaric.
So uncivilized.
Speaking of barbarians, Tomas might as well be one, but he's not. He's an empath, and he is I, and I am him. And since we're kind of talking about the physical appearance of our characters, Tomas has a little face on his forehead, if you didn't know. And likes to scream and talk. But his people do not have that little face. Not even the really like powerful decafouts, as they are known. Instead, they just have like longer and longer foreheads. So like the stronger you are, the bigger your forehead is, and now that is canon. So they're also really good at headbutting people.
Don't make that canon.
Wow.
Don't make it canon.
Wow.
They've got like this like huge bone plate in their freaking forehead. Yeah, it's canon. That's it. That's the fun fact. They've got big foreheads.
Great. This is going down in the notes. Got big forehead.
It's definitely a thing. Somewhere.
Big and hard, okay?
For the decafouts. Oh, big and hard.
Decafouts, big and hard. You heard it here first.
It's the strongest of his people, Walton Grogan.
And with that, I guess I can transition into my character, who I'm playing Queen Tenny. Don't forget that's the family name, Tenny. And Quinn, we've learned in one of the earliest episodes that got favorite foods, got that Hawaiian pizza with anchovies, got that jelly donut that's like sick in space. And because she got favorite foods, you might think like, oh, maybe she's a picky eater, like maybe she doesn't like this or that. Joke's on you. This girl could munch anything if it was nutritional. There you go. And that's it. That's the fact of the day. Is she is not a picky eater at all. She's actually quite curious and all sorts of squeezed in. That's why she ended up eating that sap. She was curious. It all adds up.
My goodness, curious eater, a curious muncher,
A curious muncher.
Curious muncher. Hexagon Wild starting early tonight.
Yeah.
Big and hard, curious muncher,
Well, if you're a curious muncher at home, make sure to say hi in chat. And if you're new here, hit the follow button. You can find us, as always, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at the TheHexagonTTRPG. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Last time on Dimensionauts, we started with the villainy turn. Mysteriously, no one knew what happened. And then we went ahead with a scene with the Great Black Widow and the confirmation of our players becoming spider riders. And now there are the Great Black Widow's spiders at the party and your small nation's disposal. The chief of which, I don't know that I have this readily available. Yeah, right here. The chief of which was Zel Karith, the web-sworn blade. So Zel Karith is hanging out with Tomas. So Tomas, you have this spider and you have your drill hound. So it looks like you have the beginnings of a little menagerie of different creatures under your command. But that being said, I believe that we were just about to enter into another kind of like year-long turn and basically have everybody pitching in ideas in terms of like what we want to do with our civilization. So Dana, that's where we stopped last time since you weren't here. So we're just we're ready to, I think, have the party discuss what it is that people want to do. And there's a few threads still. So I will repeat them now at the top of the session before a full year passes, just to remind everybody what is possible. Well, I mean, anything's possible, but little hooks that here and there that you can potentially threads that you can pull on. So one of which is the first quest that kind of came your way, which is clear the forest of the void crawlers. There's a bunch of creepy crawlies that are still infesting the forest area, and basically Valeth has said, please, root them out. They're gnawing on the roots of the trees, and they're sowing discord the longer they're here. Secondly, there was visions of some sort of entity, whispers of different names. There's something evil afoot. And I think as players too, I'm taking villainy turns. So there's something out there that is growing, and Valeth has conveyed this to you, that there's something that needs investigating, and that information has been given to Valeth by the connections it has to other memory trees in the world.
Just to confirm on that one though, that one was in a swamp. And there was a flash of a fleshy bound book of sorts.
Yes, there was a leather bound book that seemed like it was in some sort of big toxic swamp, and there was a figure who, basically like black silhouette that you couldn't see, that picked up a deer skull from the ground with antlers still attached, and then wore it, and then looked, basically turned over their shoulder and seemed to look directly at everyone before kind of the whole vision collapsed.
Got it.
There's also the relations with the Great Black Widow. And then there are the denizens of the forest. So these are two kind of factions that are in close proximity to you guys that you can, definitely try to form relations with. And then last and certainly not least, there was a very short but fruitful encounter with a Hellion by the name of Hunson. And Hunson basically gave everyone, or gave Will in the end, I think, the ability to call him with an iron bell. to trade with the Hell faction. Other than that, we're on but a small island in a sea. You can see that there's land around. Excuse me. And Will, you've been mapping the area, so I think like the map that you have on screen, like you definitely know what it looks like. Like the shape of the land, the fact that there's other land kind of like nearby. But more than that, I don't think you would be able to say. And that's where we find ourselves. And I think, this fine morning, the camps, I think multiple camps at this point are bustling. There's like places now that you guys have kind of colonized the forest, not to the extent that it's like built up or anything, but there's like little groves of people here and there, coming to and fro using the zip lines. You see the decafouts just like zooming through the trees, some by their hands, some I think they were sliding on it like they were Sonic characters. um and now that you've become accustomed to the forest, I think like the forest is also abundant. So in terms of like things to eat here, like yes, there are the like more grotesque creatures and monsters that roam the deep woods, but there's also like many fruits, and things like that. There's like wild vegetables and garlic and things. All of it kind of available for the picking right now, seeing as there's not too many people, as this is a huge forest that like basically, 2,000 people that you have could fully disappear into it, if they so chose. And yeah, I think we start off. May comes up to you, Quinn, and she's like, "What are we doing, boss?" Give you a salute. Oh, sorry. I mean, overseer.
No worries. Because you are my trusty connection to the fae spirits in the forest. Can you let me know what they might need from us?
Well, I've been talking with them, and they are interested in having discussions around kind of like territories. Like right now, they feel like we kind of integrated, but we haven't like, what's the word? Synthesized. Is that the right word?
Okay. So maybe, maybe we can meet up and do kind of like a social event type thing. What if we had one person per fairy kind of go along with their day and learn from them? They may learn from us.
Sure, that maybe could work. We'd have to like set up a whole program and get volunteers on both sides, and yeah, I definitely think that could be something good. And I think in this moment, as you're talking to May, like she's been helping you for the past year, through like the crisis of the toxic spore storm. She's a year older now.
She grows so fast.
Well, she was very young, and so I think it's like very noticeable in a younger person, when they age, right?
No, I trust that this young lady is gonna be my right hand for a long time. Yeah, okay,
Right.
I'm gonna organize with Mentor. We're gonna make some sort of list of who's gonna go with who.
Right, sounds good. I'll start, wrangling the people. Man, I really wish we had pens and paper. It would make a lot of this way easier. She goes off and starts to talk to a few people.
Pens and
Mentor,
papers.
pens and paper. Yeah, Mentor comes up and he goes, "I'll write that down myself." Makes a note in digital. But basically, Mentor is just here. He goes, "So I guess we should discuss with the progenitors what the next priorities are. So perhaps you could gather them up and we'll take a look." I also have a
Good, Mentor.
report from a scout while you were sleeping.
Oh, did tell.
Seems like there's a ship that's docked on the northern tip of the island, just a small ship with a single person who set up a fire. So we're just aware that they're there. But
Interesting. Okay, good to know. Thank you so much, Mentor. All right, I'll get up and gather the peeps.
right, he like whoop back into your helmet, and you get up and go to see. You make your way through. Where do you look first? Like who are you trying to find?
I'm gonna look for Thomas first.
All right, and Tomas, how about you let us know, where would you be most likely to be found?
I think I'm exploring, or like taking out the pets, the spider and the dog, going out for a little walk. Yeah, testing how we like kind of just get around the camp, the woods and stuff. Yeah.
All right, I look at the
I'm
sun.
just,
I'm
well, we
like,
can say I'm like just getting back to the camp. Maybe I was out in the woods, and now I'm getting back to the camp.
So I think there's probably like a main camp,
Mhm.
where this is like people go maybe more to like meet up and stuff like that. Maybe not necessarily sleep all the time, but it's like a big clearing in the forest. There's like, some small amounts of flowers and things where it smells good, and there's like a nice pond where you can bathe, that feeds into like or it's fed by a river and then trickles out into the forest, so it's moving water. So Tomas, you get back here to this kind of like more communal type spot for bathing, and you see the drill hound like bounds into the water and it's just like shaking and getting all the dirt and mud off of itself from it was drilling up almost like a dolphin through the forest in
Oh my
places.
That's so dangerous.
Meanwhile, I mean, I think that at this point you've started to become accustomed to Zelkarith, and Zel has basically created with a little bit of thread, has like webbed together some of the spikes on its back, so now you can hook your feet in. So if you want to sit, you can, but you can also stand and like surf Zelkarith as it goes, in case you need to be like just lift yourself out of your seat and grab something. Or then basically I think that maybe you've been working on maneuvers together, using your strength and his agility.
Yeah, the little the feet holsters are a little they're a little off-putting to Tomas at first, but I think the first thing he thinks of is like, oh, if somebody's ever like hurt and unconscious, this would be a great place to stick them in and they won't fall out. But he needs the mobility, he likes to get up and jump off whenever he pleases and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, how about you roll me a speed roll? Let's see.
Okay.
The first time you go to do like a somersault or something on Zelkarith.
All right.
Are you able? Do you find that these are necessary or not?
A black die in honor of the Black Mother. That's an 8.
Yeah, on an 8, I think that you're like, this is easy. And as Zelkarith like does like a full like corkscrew flip maneuver, you just get unseated and you go, uh-oh. But you're able to like grab on, and probably at the time just like cut your hand a little bit on like a really sharp spike.
Right.
And then Zelkarith is I think you just get like down that connection. It's like use the, do you need more footholds and handholds?
I just need to be more careful, that's all. Perhaps, can you do the same, but for my hands? Not attached to you, though. Just to... And I think I'll like even try, like maybe grab some of that webbing and like see like, how is it against Zell's own spikes? Like, how strong are these webs?
So Zell just has different strengths. You tell me what you need, and just like poops out some web, just like abdomen squishing, and you see that like something about the way that he moves his body to make this webbing, and it comes out like super thick, and he's like, this will dry strong.
And then I think I'll just like take some of it and maybe like stick my hands in it as it's like, so that the drying process creates like a mold around my hands. I've got like these thick web mitts.
Yeah, I think they're like really unwieldy.
Oh.
And but like he'll turn around and delicately with his like scythed almost, front legs, kind of and trim them up a little bit for you, making you these essentially gloves. But the problem is they don't come off, I guess. You know what I mean? Like they're sticky. Like they
Shoot.
you have like these perma gloves, and Zealous
Think this through.
Perhaps we can work on the method.
Yes. Maybe I need to be wearing something first before I put the webs on. I will consult with Otto and Will. They are both much smarter than me.
Right. And after this interaction, you end up at that communal space. And Quinn, you come up on Tomas. I think he's just tugging on these web gloves that he's got on, and it seems like they're very stuck to his hands as the drill hound plays in the water.
Thomas?
Quinn!
Wait, what are those in your hand?
I'm trying to make gloves, but I cannot take them off.
You can't take them off? Do you need help? And I try to grab onto the glove.
Work together to get these things off.
Pretty much.
Right. And I mean, no roll necessary. You guys just, get one off. Kind of shreds the glove a little bit. And there's this other one that's kind of clinging. Wiln, what brings you to this gathering here? Why would Wiln show up at the communal place?
I think that morning he's likely kind of organizing his scouts. Like he's picked the few that have a bit more like kind of pronounced wings, and he's used them to kind of send out and kind of like report back with what they've seen. And he's using this like large piece of cloth that he found and kind of drawing on it, and that's like the map that he has. Just one adding to it from like the scouts' reports and such. And then potentially one of his scouts has also seen this ship at the northern part of the island. So he's coming to like report it to the rest of them.
Okay. Yeah. So, and you've already like sent one that went and notified kind of like Quinn's people. Sent another one to go notify Otto's people. Another one to go, notify the Decafouts potentially. Just disseminate the information. So as you come into the clearing, I think like you still have some people kind of near you, and basically just ready to take action. It's almost like your guard has switched in a sense of like you sent people out to go relay information, and so a few people have replaced them to, be here just in case.
Oh, I don't think I need a guard here, per se.
It's like, yes, of course, Wiln, but just in case we need to relay some orders or take care of business quickly, it's best if you have a sort of, counsel at your side, at your back.
We need
looks
to...
over. Johnny like shows up, kind of like out of like the woods a little bit, and kind of catches up to you, like jogs up. He's like, "Get out of here, everybody! Come on, go."
They do bring up a good point, Johnny. We would need some sort of communication, some method of communication that's more than just word of mouth. I feel like communication at distance would be a good idea. Maybe those fireworks or those flashes of light that we did the previous evening for the celebration. Maybe we can use them as a sort of signal for different things.
Yeah, sounds good, boss. I'll go tell those council guys to set that up and come up with some sort of a flare system. Also, check this out. And he takes from his belt and he goes, I came back and I have this. And it looks like a conch shell that has like some additional hole in it. He's like, eh?
It's a very nice conch.
Listen to this. And it makes like a deep kind of like horn sound, and then it kind of like cuts off and well, still working on it. It's kind of really hard to blow into, but
sounds like you need a very good lung capacity to keep that going.
That's why we got to create, make more efficient ones. So got a couple people
that can also be used as communication.
Great minds think alike, right?
Good thoughts. Well, if you can find any more like it, or at least find things of a similar shape, maybe.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's like those like goat people. We've been talking to some of those forest denizens, the satyrs and that, and they seem like they might be amenable to giving us cast off horns or something. I don't know if it's like sacred or whatever, but
we'll ask before we decide to take, at least, and see what they have to say about it. After all, it would be their cast off horns. But maybe we can fashion something out of a hollowed out wood piece or something.
yeah, it sounds good to me. All right, I'll go tell those council guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
He catches up as they're kind of like walking away. They're muttering to each other, and he like grabs two of them around the shoulders, and he's like, I think you can hear him from where you are, and he's like, all right, flare signals, what do we got? And he starts talking to them.
Very good with people, Johnny.
And yeah, you see your two fellow progenitors, but Otto isn't here. Otto, you are somewhere in this forest, and one of your people comes to you with the news that the three of the progenitors have gathered in the communal clearing. Where would you be in this moment?
Oh God. I was thinking either Isandriel? Was that her name? Isandriel or the Black Mother. Spending some time with one of those two that would be available to me.
You pick. They're both available.
Yeah. At this point, I will choose Miss Voss. Is she still armless?
She is, yeah. So she's missing from the forearm, basically down on her. Did I say left or right? Oh, crap. Hold on. Give me one moment. I'll be able to. Progenitors, Hachimo, blah, 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 blah. Where's Otto? One-armed, missing the right forearm down. So Sandra's missing her right forearm. Right. She has that haughty kind of voice. I'll just remind myself as I'm here in the notes. White hair, green eyes, and she transforms into a spider. She's now a 7-legged spider.
I will be teaching her how to traverse the webs and the world, not just with 7 arms, but like expertly with 7 legs and 1.5 arms. I don't want her to feel like she's like falling behind physically in any way, so I'm giving her some extra attention.
Absolutely. And I think you notice right away she has an innate talent for being a spider, sometimes more so than being a human. And I think you catch her often up in a tree, kind of legs in as a spider, just watching what's going on. And so the two of you prancing through the branches, probably near Valeth, and one of your servants comes, basically shows up on a zip line, and just communicates with you with that short range spider communication. And just, the progenitors are meeting, sire.
Thank you. You may leave. Ascendriel, actually, I'm communicating telepathically, so I don't have to be out of breath. This was good work. I must reconvene with the others. You are dismissed.
And she just comes up right near you, and her leg hairs just brush very slightly yours, causing the slightest of tingling sensations, and without a word, vanishes.
I go back into auto form. And I mean, okay, hold on. If I'm way too far where I'm going to get there in like an hour by walking, then I'll... Oh, wait, no, we have zip lines. We have freaking zip lines.
You have freaking zip lines. So I think you get to one of the zip lines, and you see one of the Decafouts there, just like a very burly woman. She goes, "Oh, you going back to the main clearing?" She has this like huge forehead, hair starting back. It's very like almost ridged, like hard.
Yes.
Oh, great! Grabs you, puts you on her shoulders, and then is going to just like jump on the zip line and like start surfing. And you can see like she's like expert at this. And basically, yeah, it is your personal chauffeur.
Oh my god. This is highly unacceptable. But
What? Yeah. Super, whatever you said. Just like balancing, dodging branches with you, like whoop,
never mind.
throws you a bit backwards, brings you back up. And you get to the middle in no time at all, just in time to see, and I'll have Tomas roll me a quick little speed roll as the drill hound crouches down behind you, and you get the other glove off, but you take one step back. Are you going to trip over him?
Okay.
A large
That's a
forehead
3. I definitely trip.
And as you trip, I need Quinn to roll me. I think it's going to be a speed roll as well to unstick yourself from the glove and not follow him in.
Sounds good. All right, let me. Speed roll, speed defense. I am proficient in that.
It's not speed defense.
Damn.
It's not a check.
Okay, let me get it back.
The large forehead is just making me think of that Star Trek like race with the big foreheads. It's like the Cardassians.
All right, I got a 16.
And on a 16, you do like a little flip forward, but are able to like turn your body, unstick, crouch on the ground, splash behind you. Will's just watching, going, "What the hell is happening here?" And Otto kind of tumbles in off of the I think you like lean forward, almost fall, but this just strong woman and kind of like just grabs you and sets you down properly. And as you turn, Otto, to maybe admonish her or just say something, she's already back on a zip line and does this thing where she seems to have a little bit of like glowing palm all of a sudden, and hits behind her as if she was smacking a wall, and the air force of this propulsion shoots her up the zip line like some sort of a vehicle, her toes cradling the line as she ricochets down, and she's gone.
So cool.
Have we seen that before?
I think this leads into, you started to see some certain magical expressions, some of your people a little bit stronger, right? So Will and some of your people have started showing these avian features where they're able to fly, right? They have these wings. For Otto, right away was some people were able to start to transform not only into spiders, but into, potentially like shift some of their features into other things, such as like changing your arm into like a blade or like a knife that you need to cut like, you know, something, or potentially into like a harder like, you know, piece of bone or metal that was able to give leverage. And then Tomas's people seem to have some sort of like innate enhancement magic, something that boosts their ability, because they are strong beyond their builds. So you are all here, leaders of your respective clans of magical peoples. I do have some percentages of your people where it's like, basically it's like 40% of your people are like, the bloodline is weak enough that they don't have like physical traits, they just look normal. 30% of your people are strong enough that they have very visible kind of like magical traits. Another 20% are divided in kind of like, you're stronger and you do have traits, or you're stronger and you don't have traits. It's almost like a little bit hidden. And then the last little bit are people who, you know, are basically very strong and they can almost choose. So we'll write that down and I'll hand it out later. I don't know that it's that important right now.
Hello,
All right.
everyone.
Hello. We
Hello.
meet once again.
I'm like getting up. And I quickly like grab the drill hound, just like around the neck, like give it a little nuggy, and then
Yeah, I mean, you start giving it a noogie and it's gonna, can you roll me a might defense? It starts to grapple you.
oh, we're doing a little tussle here. Oh, he wants to go. He wants to go.
You started it.
He
That's what you
tripped
feel down the
me.
bottom.
He's playing
started
jokes. That's a 9.
All right, yeah, a 9. You want to roll for the drill hound next?
Oh,
I'm not supposed to be GM in this system.
drill hound's got me freaking locked down. He's like tapping him. Release me.
Yeah, he's got you. I mean, he's probably got like one tentacle kind of like around your groin region. And he's just like, he knows your weak point.
Get that drill away from my dick.
All right, but yeah, as you do the tap and let him, he lets you join the conversation.
We will continue this later.
Shake.
Are you quite all right there, Thomas?
Never been better.
He had like the stick with gloves on him. And, like, I guess, is it still on, like with me, one of the gloves? Can I give it back to him?
Yeah, you hold up your hand and there's like a little bit of hanging web that you can kind of flick off.
Yes, I need gloves to adequately ride Zelkarith. It's quite painful.
And I
Did you
realize how badly I need pen and paper. Can't do anything with it without it. I'm just saying.
Tomas, did you not ask an Ottoman to fashion you a pair of gloves?
Well, I asked Zelkarith. Would you be willing to do that for me, Otto?
I can find the time.
Thank you.
I'm just going to ask someone else to do it for. What is this meeting of? I only heard from one of my subordinates that you three had met.
I do have.
There is a meeting.
There's like something interesting happening at the edge. Someone showed up. I think it was your people that told my people, right, Will?
Well, I had sent people to all three of you, and I wasn't sure if they had actually made it, so I was coming to see if you all were here. I didn't actually think there would be a meeting of some sorts. I was just trying to find you all, and you all happened to be here. So, anyways, there seems to be a boat at the northern tip of the island. Which means that there was somebody either trying to get off the island or someone came to the island.
An outsider. Curious.
So there is that to be potentially looked into. But we do have a few other things that we would need to look into as well.
This is true. We must be sure to provide for the spiders that are being ridden as part of our agreement in this upcoming year. But we must also evolve as a people, as our populations are slowly growing.
Exactly. We'll need to educate people, so we need pen and paper.
That is correct.
So just a question of like how much people actually remember. Has anyone remembered of the process of manufacturing certain goods that we used to have?
Is that a question for me?
Oh, just in general. Because I mean, I don't know if they could answer it, but like, if they can just say, "Yeah, sure, this is my
Yes,
person has
of
thought this," or if it's something that you have to decide for us.
So I think it's a little bit of both. People have remembered crafts and craftsmanship, and there is knowledge available in each of your factions. There is a question of where to put your energy. Like a lot of the energy in the last year was in defenses and helping wounded and just like what's it called?
Survival.
Yeah, hunting and gathering, basically, right? So if I have someone who can develop a process for creating paper, but they're busy picking a bunch of like fruits for people to eat, what's more important?
It is true that we haven't gotten our agriculture to where it probably needs to be.
But that's what I was going to more ask. Like, if there was somebody that did know, like already, that would be something like a step ahead. Or do we have to actually research a method to make paper? Like,
No,
those kind of
and I think
what step are we at?
Yeah, I think there is knowledge available basically through magic, through the magic of your peoples, of your bloodline. It's just that you have to direct it. You have to give people orders, and it has to take focus away from something else potentially.
All right. So where should we head off this? I guess with our people. What's our more important thing? We still have the tree that kind of wants us to help it, and it's been helping us. So I feel inclined in helping them. I also told my my underling, not my underling, my right hand lady, that I guess it would be a good idea to make friendships with the Fae also. So I know we got the spiders and all, but we never know if they're gonna continue the deal later on, if that makes sense.
You also have to feed the spiders. I forgot to say that earlier.
Yes. I would like to begin building some sort of academy, some
Ooh,
central point to share stories and knowledge.
yes.
That perhaps we can think of a second purpose for such an establishment that could help us in another avenue.
We don't quite have buildings, though, do we?
No,
Like, what are what's the current like living situation? Are we still in like tents? Are we like what are we?
Yeah, I would say it's tent-like, and don't forget the weather here is fairly controlled by Valeth and the forest, so it's always like pretty hospitable. There's no real depth of winter. There's no wetness of spring. Like if you want to be dry, you can always be dry. And if you want to be warm, you can always basically be warm. These are very fey woods.
sick.
Yeah, and I would say like these woods are probably magical to the point that like with permission of the trees, if you cut lumber kind of like toenails, it'll grow back. So basically it's like they're transforming ambient magic into, you know, these limbs like hair or nails or stuff like that. And so it's trimmable and usable, and you know, so there's a lot being provided here.
Infinite resources?
I think
It could also be like a
costs magic at the very least from Vela.
I thought if we help them, it might even benefit us even more then. With more magic.
Well, he has said that the void things are tapping his magic and causing it to be less or weaker than it has been in the past.
Therefore, we go on a voidling extermination. How about that?
Would be an idea.
Yes.
We definitely need to do that. And then likely go after whatever that thing was in the swamp. Because that might just grow out of control at a certain point.
we need to find where that is first.
That's why I've been trying to send out scouts and to get a lay of the land. But we might be able to do two things at once. You mentioned getting a better relationship with the denizens of this forest. Well, we can get their aid potentially in locating these voidlings and a joint front, if you will, to ridding the forest of their ilk.
Yes.
This is wise.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm glad we started that tradition.
This was a good one to bring from however long ago we had.
Just to keep some normalcy from before.
We need to keep polite manners. Courtesy, if you will.
Right. I think at this point you see there's like a big boar that comes to the river, feeding into this pond kind of area, this like shallow moving water area where all of you are in the clearing, and you know you have like around the edges of this clearing you have like hammocks and little tent like things set up, and so this big boar drinks some water, looks in at what's going on here, returns to the forest.
That could be our supper.
It is only morning.
Speaking of supper, I guess food. How are we doing with food?
I'm pretty sure pretty good, actually. This forest has been quite resourceful and bountiful in food stuffs and water, at the very least.
As long as you're hunting and gathering, you have food.
All right, perfect. Does anyone want to check out the dude by the water?
What do
The
we
boat?
have in the water?
The boat. Yeah, the person.
Oh. It was a small boat, I believe.
Yeah, I think just one guy.
Oh.
Or so Mentor told me.
Yep. Mentor pops up. Yep, that's what I heard from Wilm's scout. He said it was a single person and they had a fire on the beach. Don't know anything else, really.
How far was this?
Walking, it's about 2.5 days. Straight. So 3 comfortably.
Lone stranger in our home.
Hmm.
Well, to be fair, we ourselves are somewhat strangers in this land as well.
Just maybe we can learn more about what's going out there. I feel so disconnected from the world. Before, I used to be able to see the whole planet all at once, and now I can't even know what's happening a few days away from here.
This is true.
that
This is
weird?
true.
I haven't experienced that, but I can imagine it is.
It's really weird, trust me. I was so in the know before.
Yes, I do miss my newspapers.
Mm.
Well, definitely assign some people to go either follow this person or bring them here for a meeting while we handle the void things. Or would you rather go yourselves?
No. I think we should have them brought here.
Yeah, sorry, I was wrong. It's 5 days walking.
Oh my goodness. They might be gone by the time we reach them.
Not if that barbaric woman is the one to lead the charge.
I will say
Ooh, Wilga?
it's 5 days walking. You have mounts.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So
Spider riding.
How quick are the spiders in comparison
Mount
to...
to a single Wilga.
Wait, who's this Wilga? I don't think I know about this creature.
that woman that just blasted off?
No. Did this out of character? Did this happen when I was gone?
You were here. She dropped Ottawa.
Austin.
Oh wait, my door.
What?
Give me a second.
What?
My door.
Oh,
Your door.
he said my
That
dog.
stresses me out. That's my door too. What's going on?
There's an intruder.
She was walking in. Hey,
I want to get a sense if like we're about to make a small decision or a big decision. Like, are we making the easiest roll of the day by trying to go and find this guy?
the first rolls from
Is
what we had
this-
discussed with mechanics wise usually was the easiest.
Yeah, but I think this is just a discussion to figure out what
Is
we're
this
going to
like
do
a little,
first.
like- Can we go and do this and this not be our first decision for the year? Or is this our first decision of the year if we decide to go?
Also, do our decisions do we have like separate roles for ourselves and our people, or is that considered
So
the same?
I had to put a lot of thought into this. I think we're going to be zooming in and out of slow and fast time a lot more than I initially thought.
Okay.
If that's okay with everybody. So if you all decide to go do this, it will just take whatever amount of days it takes to go do this and come back.
Okay.
So I think that's the idea there. In terms of what you do for the year, I will basically that those roles will be taken on by your people. So you're kind of setting tasks to your civilization that they're accomplishing over a long period of time. And if you want to be the person to do that task like alone or something, then it would be your character specifically. Otherwise, it's more like your nation and you're using your abilities as a leader, so some of your skills or whatever, to make it harder, easier by directing people. That does occupy your time though, because you have to be around to direct people and help, and that's how you're able to use your skill as part of that action.
Okay.
Make
that makes
sense?
Hell yeah.
Makes sense.
I'm
And I think too, like as long as you guys are all part of the same nation, then you will share the increasing difficulty of roles because you're all available to help on stuff. So if you're doing agriculture, I think everybody's around and has to kind of participate in wrangling everybody. The way that it stands now, you have the Decafouts that are strong, and they're ziplining people, and actually the Ottomans are maintaining those zip lines, and actually the The what do we call them? Oh no, I forgot the name that Dana gave me for her people. Dana, help me.
The underseers or something?
Was it the underseers? Yes, the
She
underseers.
is the overseer,
Right. Then
and so are they underseers?
They would be the underseers, or that's what I have them. You can change the name if you want. The underseers. So they're taking care of like the planning of the infrastructure, like inventory, whatever it is. So if you split up your nations, I will give you all. You will have more actions. You will each have your individual increasing difficulties. So I guess there are benefits to splitting up, but I won't. You're not able to communicate in that case,
right?
Or until you find communication or whatever.
Shall we go see a man about a boat?
Well, that's what I was considering. Do we go see it ourselves, or do we just send people to bring them here while we do something else?
I would like to rid the forest of the void creatures, personally, as thanks to the tree.
Unless, Otto, would you like to go as our representative?
Sorry about that. I'm back.
No worries.
Welcome back.
I would like to remain honest. If the stranger does not take to my personality, I don't think I will get far. But if he does, then there is no one better to send. And so perhaps I would ask that one of your people... actually, I don't know now. If it's one of Tomas's people... No. Johnny. If, as much as I have grown to despise him, it is because he has what I lack. It's a sense of charisma.
Johnny!
He's definitely a people person.
Yes.
I was actually thinking of sending him with you as a sort of second option, depending on who this person is.
Unfortunately, I agree.
But speaking of communication, we were thinking of setting up some sort of code signals with flashes of light in the sky. So if we can set that up before you leave, then it might help long-range communication.
That would
But
be
anyway.
a good first step for setting up a place of education. If we could all be as one in a long-range sort of communication. I enjoy that idea.
Right, so we have that party of individuals going to meet with this newcomer to the island. Then, Tomas, I believe you said you wanted to head the hunt for the voidlings.
Yes, I would like this very much.
Quinn, was that something you'd like to join as well, or do you have another venture in mind?
No, I think I'm down to join you guys.
Just a quick census. Is there something else that you think we should start in that maybe one of us should oversee, or?
Not at the moment. Again, I think I mentioned my two ideas that I had in mind for like the futures. Pleasing the Fae and pleasing the tree, pretty much.
Tomas, Otto, any
Well,
initiatives?
look at the cut in my hand. Weapons and armor for our people would go a long way.
Well, I suppose, what would we even have to make weapons and armor? I guess the wood can be used as some sort of armor, but weapons,
There are the hides of beasts we have killed. It's something.
It's true. Make a sort of hard leather. Again, do any of the people have those requisite skills or knowledge to be able to start thinking of ideas around that?
They're
Some
capable.
Good.
Otto's people. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was
might
going to
have-
think.
Go ahead. You could say it.
Well, some of my people are able to fashion their own bodies into such weapons and armor. I'm sure it's just a hop, step, and a jump away from figuring out how to do it for others, given the materials.
The four of you are also wearing clothing made by Otto's.
Yeah, clothing is like it's like, but like it's kind of saying like being a tailor is different than being like an armorer, for example, or like a tanner.
Yeah.
So like that's why I was like, well, they might know how to sew and make things like clothing, but would they know how to tan hides and do other things? That was more kind of like the question. But they do know things.
I
So.
think Mentor pops up and he goes, I think we're spoiled with the amount of knowledge that is contained in the people that you have here. Enoch must have chosen specifically who is going to be transported here with all of you. And he chose according to the basics of what was needed in the society. And I think that in terms of those basics, there are multiple people of each of the skills. There's redundancy built into your populations in terms of what they know. And these crafts, as far as I can tell, I'm not sure, but potentially like blacksmithing is not something that would have been done in your ancient world by all that many people. There are also people here who wish to start families and have children and do these things. And those are maybe different, those would be two different skill sets.
Enoch definitely had great foresight in this. It's almost like it was planned in advance.
He was, in a sense, that Mentor looks at Quinn, the planner and the curator of the the floating city that we lived in, the Seraph Station.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but to select 500 people for each and have them sent in such a short amount of time, it's quite a feat.
Mentor stops for a moment. I don't know if he only selected 2,000 people.
That just
I've
makes
been-
it even more of an incredible feat.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I'm wondering if there were others. I'm wondering if there are other pockets, from what I could tell, and I've talked about this with Quinn over the last year as we were tending to people and categorizing and taking names for the the list of building a.
Mm-hmm.
You had said you wanted to build like
Making a phone book.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
right.
much. Pretty much.
And I think that it seems to me like someone who is an architect of that scale and builds redundancy into a population in terms of knowledge would have contingency plans. I don't know if we're a contingency plan. Like, are we plan A? And that's something I've been asking myself.
Well, I suppose eventually we'll find out.
Yeah. And we still haven't met the condition for home that unlocks a piece of knowledge that I'm missing. So I'm not quite sure what it is that I guess tents don't count as a home.
That's going to make me turn to Quinn. What?
Yeah, so when we first got here.
Oh, sorry. I thought you told them.
No, it's okay. It's not like it was a
Condition
secret, I
unlocking
guess.
for home and more knowledge. What?
Yeah, so pretty much it seems like Mentor knows more. It's just it's locked behind the conditions. So The only thing he knows is that we have to make this our home. So to me, our home would be probably similar to what I've experienced outside, in space. So how do we make this our home? I'm not sure. Besides, like at first I was so worried about survival that I couldn't think of anything else. But I think we can get homey, so comfortable. Maybe we need comfort. Maybe we need, I'm not sure. Like, yeah, what
Venture, like-
does a home mean to you guys?
Mentor peeks back out and he says, I think we're pretty comfortable. And he like shifts his gaze and you all can look. And there's like Kaylin wearing what looks like a fur pelt over one shoulder, asleep in the sun, like a half-eaten fruit in his hand on his chest.
Mhm.
Amazing.
Over on the far side.
You're right.
If you ask me, it's already home.
See, that's why it's. I thought that maybe just by keep going at it, it will trigger the condition, but it somehow hasn't yet. So there's something we're missing. Maybe we need people to have babies.
People have had babies.
Oh, people had babies during this year?
They've been busy.
That's how our population is increased.
Oh, you're right.
We're not
Okay,
gonna
so
delve
we
into
got the babies.
They were delicious.
I guess it's maybe the fact that we
That's
have
where we got
pens.
all the food.
Oh my god! No!
I mean, some of them got like chicken wings, man. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh my
Enough with the
God.
freaking chicken, dude. Pull up the picture.
No,
Don't do it,
dude,
don't
don't get
do it,
hungry
please.
again.
Hungry or
I'm hungry. All right. All right. I need a break. I need a break.
All right. So we're gonna stop for a bio break. When we come back, maybe our progenitors will decide on something to do. Thank you, and see you